Why is it that two salespeople with the same script can have completely different outcomes? So, a while ago, when I first started doing cold calls and sales meetings, I had a couple of scripts that my coach prepared for me. It was basically just enough to get into the call, quickly explain why I'm there, and pitch my offer, and then quickly get out of there again. So, it was enough for my first calls, but whenever the prospect asked me for more information or they had a specific objection, I didn't know what to do because I didn't have a planned response. So I started looking up those responses and thinking of things I could say. And I found that a lot of advice out there tends to give you those answers, give you those responses. And the good news is that worked for me initially because now I have something to hold on to. I can give a response with a specific question. And it felt like I was on the right path. The bad news is after like a couple weeks, after like a month or so, it just stopped working for me. And I was still saying this planned response that I have prepared, but as I was saying this, something within me, like it didn't feel right. And I was looking at the prospect and I saw like his facial expressions were weird and like it didn't seem like it felt right for him either. And so this didn't work anymore. And it took me a while to really figure out why, because logically, like I had these responses and it didn't work. All I really had was like a feeling that something is off here, but I couldn't really put my finger on it, like what's really the reason here. It's only after I got more experience that I got more of a sense of this. And this is what I call energy. And this is basically everything that doesn't have to do with the tangible surface level tactics and the scripts. To get a sense of what this energy is like, imagine pitching to a prospect. Be aware of the feeling of the prospect whenever you're pitching. Be aware of what has he said before, what is he feeling right now, what are his beliefs, what are the things he needs. And then also, as you're pitching, be aware of what you are feeling right now, what you feel like you need right now, and just be aware of the state that you are in and be aware of the state that the prospect is in, especially when the prospect is giving you a response back. Think about like, does that make you feel anxious? Does that make you feel angry? Does that make you feel a certain way? Be aware of those things because this is these are the things that really matter in a sales call. Like if you don't respond in the right way, then you're not going to get a good result. And this is goes much further than just the verbal level. So whenever you're saying something, what people are really paying attention to is, what does that person really mean? Is that person judging me? Does that person need something from me? Is he trying to trick me? Am I in danger? I don't know. What does it really mean? So these are the things that really matter. And as you can see, that's much further than just the verbal level. This is really, as humans, we react in a very primal way whenever we're communicating, especially with someone new. Like we're just thinking about danger. This is how people sense whether they're attracted to someone, whether they're curious, or whether they feel like they're in danger. Like most people aren't intellectually aware of that, but every human being can sense that, and that's kind of how human beings just are. And that's very important to be aware of these things when you're communicating, especially in sales. So start thinking about those things, start thinking about this energy, and try to try to work on a response that is mature, that is ethical, that makes sense for you and the prospect. And when you can react in a right way, that's often a lot more powerful than just having the right, the right verbal response or the right script, because reactions don't lie. They can tell your real emotions by just looking at your voice or your body or your eyes or the way you're communicating. And so this is what really matters in sales. The other part that's important is what I call the human level. What I mean with that is a lot of salespeople, when they have a meeting, most salespeople are aware that they need to take control in some way, that they need to guide the prospect to show certain things about their service or question some of their beliefs or ways that they're currently doing things. So most salespeople will try to take control of the conversation right away. And while that's not wrong, it's also important that you're just aware of how the prospect is feeling. Is he even at ease, or is he just like feel like does he look like he feels like something is off? Because it's important that, yes, you need to guide him, but if he doesn't trust you, then he'll never be able to open up to you, and he'll just be in a state of panic or in a state of distrust, and then it doesn't really matter what you do because he isn't able to listen to you. The other part of it is make sure that he does listen to you, because if he's the one taking control of the conversation, then he's probably going to spiral off to Pluto, because, I mean, he's probably not going to take it in the right direction. So make sure that you do take control of that conversation, but do it in the right way. The other thing that's important is that understand that every person is different, and every person has a different way of being, different thing that he likes, and a different set of beliefs, a different set of reasoning about things and topics. So it's important to be aware of that, because let's say that we're trying to convince someone using our own logic and just our own way of being, and we're not considering that person. That might not be as efficient as if we're trying to understand their world and then trying to convince them based upon their own logic. That will work a lot better than we're just assuming that this person likes the thing we does. And I mean, it's just about paying attention to those things. The other thing I want to mention is that while you're having a sales call or a sales meeting with your prospect, try to make a human connection with your prospect. Don't just think about the strategic check marks that you need to hit to make sure that he's a right match for you and that you're a right match for him. Think about actually what is that person like, and think about what are some things that you can actually respect and like in that person on like a human level. Because the strategic check marks are important, but let's say that on paper you're a perfect match for each other, then still, like, if he feels like he doesn't perfectly trust you, or if he feels like your personality is a bit off, then, I mean, that could kill a lot of deals. So make sure that you treat people like people and not as machines, basically. Be sure to check out my next video on sales, where I teach you more about strategies and tactics that you can use to close better and get better deals. And if you like this video or you learned something, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Cheers!